Hey guys, this is Doug. We're going to run a market replay of February 22nd. I already know what's going to happen for the day. This is just kind of a idealized version of marking up your chart and taking trades. And we're going to run a lot of speed throughs basically to get to the interesting points of the day. So let's speed up here and get close to market open. Alright. So let's say we're getting ready for the market to open. You probably want to get your highs and your lows. Your low could be here, could be here. Let's just put it there. One thing about market replay connection is the tick data is going to look a lot different than your live tick data. It's just something to keep in mind. So we have a possible trend there. And then on the way down, we had a trend there that broke. We made it to a new low. And just for fun, if you want to measure that out, whether you're there or there, you're basically getting a measured move. So we've got potential distance here about there. Let's move that out of the way. Speed it up. So from this low, you've got a first entry here. You've got a break and a new high here. And then what it's going to do is give you a nice bearish bar for a potential second entry short, which in real time would be really tempting. Except there's no trend that had started yet. It's not breaking a new low off any kind of trend. It's just kind of out here. And it never gives you a chance to trigger anyway, but in real time that would have been really tempting. Really tempting move. And then it sets up here again with another tempting long. You know, you got a first entry. You'll get this nice second entry here. But you've already had the break to the new high. The new high is basically exactly where your measured move would go to. From here to here, you didn't have enough room to get out, so you would have had to drop a limit order somewhere back here to play by the rules. And you would have had 4 tick possible failure here if you had gone long. But in real time, this wasn't a good setup. So let's get back to something interesting. Got a trend going there. You break, go into the new low, you're meeting these lows. We'll pause it here. This would probably be a decent place to go long. You're running into the EMA as the only problem, but you've come down and tested this low a number of times, then pulled back and went up. So you could call that a good long. It's not one that I would personally take. I'm just not very good at an entry like that. It backfires on me more than it works out for me, so I just skip those. potential trend line there. It's looking more like that there. It's the trend. That seems to work. So we'll call that the trend. You've got from here, you've got a first entry, and then you set up for this second entry long. Also, you could count this as one entry, two, but that's not a good signal bar. But here you've had the break of this trend. You're probably going to need a new high. I forgot to buy in. So we may end up missing that trade. Yeah, there it goes. And then if you're looking for a target for a runner, I would run that there. And I like to give myself a little room, so I'd probably leave it there. You've got other potential things going on here. So if you had this trend line drawn and pulled back here, this would be a really nice entry because not only do you have room to get out, but you're thinking that you've got room to run all the way up to this side of the trend. So even though my target is there, you might want to take full advantage of it bouncing off the top of this trend line. Speed things up. Works its way up, gets us out, starts bouncing off that trend line, then it breaks that trend line and starts its way back. So you've had an overshoot of that potential trend line, you're starting a new one. You've had the break of this one, right? So now you're starting a new trend. Working our way down. Nothing's happening yet. There was nowhere to get in. You have to be patient. That's easy. On the market replay, you can just speed past the boring parts. But this is the hardest part about trading, is watching something like this with no potential entries. And you just have to watch it go. Because in real time, what has happened is you see this moving, and then you'll sell right here, and then it'll bounce off the EMA or something and stop you out, or maybe you'll get lucky here, but it seems more often than not, if you try to force an entry where an entry is not happening, you're going to pay for it. So you just have to watch it go. So we don't even know if this trend line's any good, to be honest. So we watch it go without us. Now it's coming back. And what you're expecting here is you're expecting a break of this trend and then a new low here. You've also got this potential trend line, which makes this a possibility of going long, but you haven't had a break of this trend and a new low yet. Well, you've had the break, but you haven't had the new low. So you got to keep that in mind. Doesn't give you a good setup anyway. Bounces there again. Again, you have to remember that you don't even know if this is valid. It didn't give you a double test off here to confirm that's valid. And that'll happen. Sometimes you'll draw trend lines that aren't trends that can get you in trouble, because now you think all the way down here you've got first entry, you've got second entry off that bogus trend line. You go long and then you get burned. And you'll see that happen here. So you've got to know, even when you draw something like this, that it may not be good and it needs to be validated. And by breaking through right here, it never really validated that this was the correct line. And you're waiting for the break and the new low. And so far you've got first entry, you're looking for the second entry. It's a pretty good bar so far. But it doesn't end up with a good bar. And then you have this setup here. So you're looking for the break and the new low. And then you've got this resistance here. You touch 1, 2, 3, 4 times, plus the double top here, plus you could consider this a double top. Plus you're looking for the break and the new low. Plus you don't think that this is a valid trend line anymore. So you should probably just remove that to begin with. Now it looks a lot more clear. And what you're wanting to do is sell here, because that's a first entry and then a second entry. And you've got potential for something magnificent like this to happen. And that's not really as great a bar as I wanted. But you still have a lot of other factors working for you. And you might be coming all the way down here. Let's see what happens. Tighten up that stop here. Works through. Gives you a scare. Right there. And then it comes through. So you've got your 1 point, so you want to tighten up your stops. Things are setting up, looking good. But it could bounce right here. Could bounce right there. And it does. And then it ends up working its way higher. So maybe that was more like that. Now that you've got more information, you could work it there. Still doesn't look great. But if you measure that all out, it's potential midline of a bigger trend. And that's it. So just a quick review of the possibilities here. We'll just clean this up so it'll be easier to see. The start of the day, you had this trend working down, it breaks, Gives you 2 legs to a new low. So now you're starting the reversal. You're coming up. You break that trend. You work your way to a new high. You actually get 2 legs to a new high. You have to be patient. Because let's say you came in at 8 o'clock. You've got to sit from 8. You could have taken possibly along here. But in my case, in real time, I would have had to wait an hour, maybe an hour, 10 minutes before I take my first trade. And the reason why we took that is first entry, second failed entry short, off the EMA. It's a break of this trend, so now you're looking for a break to a new high. You've got your measured move from here to there for your target. So that's why you go long there. But you had to wait an hour and 10 minutes possibly to get that trade. And then from there, from 9:10, you're going to wait another hour. Basically another hour and 10 minutes, another hour, 20 minutes to take this trade. And that's the game of trading. And the reason why you took that trade, you got a first entry, you got a break of this trend, first entry, second entry. You've got some other factors working for you. You've got this resistance here. You've got room to get out. That's why you took that trade. But that's it. It's the game of waiting for your setups. Somebody else probably liked this one. They may have wanted to go long here. But I would have waited probably an hour and 10 minutes and then an hour and 20. That's the way it goes.